Hey y'all, here OS Reviews. A couple weeks back, we checked out a pretty cool interactive smart puzzle game from Geiger. It's a company that is a ecosystem brand of Xiaomi, best known for making phones and other smart home tech, but they also create some of these other fun, unique gadgets that can keep you entertained. And this brand in the past have also created other smart brain teaser games, including Rubik's Cube, which are connected using Bluetooth to your phone, so you're able to track how many turns you're making before completing the game, among other smart, interactive AI games. So today they're coming out with yet another new model that we'll be checking out. It's called their Super Blocks. The entire surface here will be lit by these LED lights, and then it will tell you which color pieces you're able to use and try to fill in the lights, helping improve your thinking skills, your spatial reasoning skills, and also kind of keep you away from staring at a phone display. So otherwise, it has over 1,000 levels of games that is built in. They get progressively harder. There is time limits that you can set. And overall, there is, again, a companion app that you can download on your phone that can track the same levels and give you hints in terms of how to solve them. However, the app itself does not, say, bind to the board using Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. But you can find a digital version of the games as well as hints over there as well. So it's a nice, thoughtful touch. And otherwise, we can take a look at the packaging here, quite colorful. The inside contains just the actual Super Block itself, which we'll take a closer look at. It still requires two AAA batteries, just like with the Super Slide, and it doesn't use a rechargeable battery, for instance, which is something maybe they could improve on in the future. Now over here we have a series of LED lights, which will tell you which colored pieces you're able to use for filling in the patterns that will appear. Controls here include the ability to turn it on and cycle through different levels and save your progress. And the board here can, of course, sense after you've completed a level correctly, and it will progress onto the next one. So they are pressure sensitive as well. So in here we have just a quick user guide telling you how to set it up and access the different levels and pieces. Down below here there's a quick carrying pouch which you can use to protect everything and take them with you when on the road, and also the 4 colored sets of pieces. So for instance, if the light here turns yellow, that means you can use only the yellow pieces to complete the pattern, versus if you're getting into a really hard level, it's possible to have greater combination of pieces because you can use, let's say, all 4 colors, but it will just become harder to visualize. So just taking a closer look at the design, again, pretty well built out of this polycarbonate plastic, and there is really nothing else going on here aside from just turning it on, and then by default it will leave where you had less left off in terms of the previous level. So in our case, it's showing level 5. So the LED lights underneath here will start to glow. Now you can see here that the lights aren't necessarily the brightest in the world. It's not too bad. You just can't be in necessarily studio condition lighting like we are right now, which has just a ton of light hitting on it. Or if you're playing out in direct sunlight, for instance. But in just a little bit of shade, you can still make out what's going on. So if we try to kind of toggle between some of those levels, as you can see there, it starts off really easy. So if we just toggle on 2, for instance, it just indicates for us that we are using the red colored pieces only, and we have to fill in the lights which are shaped like that. So at this initial stage, it's really just a demo to tell you how to play the game, but we're going to press down this piece. That's correct. And then another panel here that we have to use might be comprised of these other pieces. That one is correct. And the final piece here is down below. So with that part completed, your level here will be finished. It will flash and glow and then progress onto the next level, which by default it will show up as this animation because we still have pieces left over on the board. So it's telling us to remove these first before we're able to trigger the next state. And afterwards it will flash to level 3 and then show up the corresponding region that we have to fill in. Again, as the pieces become closer together in terms of their cluster, they can become harder to solve, and you can also time yourself to see how quickly you're able to complete these respective patterns. So overall, again, it still can be quite fun. Some of these, again, early levels are definitely much more simple. So here we're going to take a quick look at the companion app portion, and one other side note is the flashing that you see is just entirely due to the frame rate of the camera. In person, the lights here are a consistent shade, which doesn't really flash. So as you can see here, the companion app does look pretty attractive, and it kind of visually tells you how to complete the different levels. So for instance, if we tap on level 1, you can then go through the aforementioned up to 40 levels over here, and you can also find that they will correlate 1-to-1 with the levels of the board itself. So for instance, right now we are on level 47. If we go ahead and tap on that, you can see that this particular shape is now mirroring what we see here on the board, and we again have the ability to use both the green and the blue pieces available. So it gives you this virtual set, so you can kind of switch back and forth depending on if you don't want to bring the board with you. You can play on your phone and then still have that continuity when you go back onto the board onto the next level. So over here you can also tap on the hint, for example, and it will tell you slight hints in terms of how to beat this particular level. So it looks like the green pieces I need to just put down over here, maybe one piece here, and then the final option, which would be having to use a blue block, we'll have to use this top piece here to complete. Still, this is incredibly fun and can be addictive, especially as you get into more and more levels and you get better at solving these puzzles. You'll find that you're able to more quickly visualize the shapes in your mind, testing something a little bit different compared to the Super Slide, which we saw there from before, which has arguably a little bit more of a satisfying movement to the process, but I would say that this can be a little bit more difficult, and as you level up, just get better and better at the different challenges that you see on screen. A few other remarks include it claims to last up to 35 hours of continuous puzzle solving. It is a little bit more pricey than the aforementioned Super Slide by about 10 to 15 bucks. So that is more or less it as far as our quick hands-on look at the Geiger Super Block. Once again, a really fun, creative puzzle game just made in a more digital way, which is intelligent and has a nice ecosystem to go with it. And I do appreciate what Geiger are doing because they're trying to make these kind of retro handhelds become a little bit more popular again. So if interested, you can check out more details in the links down below. But for now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.